I'm sure you've noticed that gas prices are going through the roof, $4 and up in many places. Predictions that they're even going to go higher. We wonder, what will the summer driving months bring? What will we be paying for gas? Even can we afford to travel anywhere? And yet we find articles like this one in the Financial Times where a oil-producing country is making the claim that the bottom line is that they, who are producing the oil, would like to see a lower price, and that there is really not a potential shortage of oil keeping prices high. That's not the reality on the ground. They say there is no lack of supply. So why are oil prices going higher? What is going to be done about it? Do we really have a large supply of oil? And why are gas prices high? When these things happen, it creates a concern and fear in our minds, and it drives down a lot of other issues and drives a lot of other issues in our society.
Sure does. You can't help but think of, well, how could this possibly be? With prices going up, how could there be plenty of supplies? But Saudi Arabia says there is, and yet we worry about it and we're fearful. And I think it brings up a greater question. Do we have the kind of faith that it takes, and are we putting our faith in the right place? Because so oftentimes, putting our faith in Saudi Arabia to supply us our oil, or where does our strength really come from? And I think that's a vital question that each of us have to individually ask ourselves. Where do we put our faith?
This article goes on to say there is no rational reason why oil prices are continuing to remain at these high levels. That may be true. You and I on the ground buying the gas at the pump, paying the high prices, we don't understand all of the economics and all of the real reasons behind this. Everybody has an opinion. But when it comes down to it, it really comes back into our lap and an attitude and an approach that we make a choice as to how we're going to live. Are we going to live with confidence, with a positive approach to life, manage our lives in a responsible manner so that we are not tossed to and fro, back and forth with all the problems of supply and economics, and live our life by a calm, reasoned, purposeful faith that God is in charge, God is in control of our lives, and we're going to put our life in His hands and live responsibly in that way. That really comes back to the only real valid choice and the most important one that we have.
Yeah, fear or faith? Where do we put our trust? We've got to put our trust in God. There's a wonderful song that's in Psalm 56 that is an interesting one that focuses on where we should put our attention. It says, "Whenever I'm afraid," it says verse 3, "I will trust in you." So no matter what life brings, whether it's high oil prices, whether it's challenges in our families, whether it's difficulties in our neighborhoods, whatever it is, we've got to see beyond those difficulties and put our faith where it really counts. We say, "In God I have put my trust. I will not fear. What can flesh do to me?" You see, that changes our whole perspective, and we get the big picture to realize that our life is in God's hands, and He really does care for us. And with that, we can have a much better perspective on what the worries are around us.
And that is the major decision and responsibility that we have every single day when we face these challenges, wherever they may come from. We have that control. That's BT Daily. Join us next time.